All forms of art have always had their fair share of lovers as well as haters, but the hard truth is that they coexist. So is the case with movies. In all time eras, there were different filmmakers who coexisted, and सबकी अपनी अपनी audience थी. The 50s and 60s had the films made by K. Asif, Mehboob Khan, Satyajit Ray, which coexisted with Kishore Kumar and Mahmood entertainers. In the 70s and 80s, Shyam Benegal, Nasir Hussain, Rishikesh Mukherjee, Suraj Barjatya films coexisted with Manmohan Desai entertainers. The entertainers, though not much appreciated by the critics, went on to achieve huge numbers at the box office. Huge box office collections का मतलब ये है कि बहुत लोगों ने ये फिल्में देखी, उन्हें पसंद किया और दूसरों को रेकमेंड भी किया. In recent times, along with filmmakers like अनुराग कश्यप, विशाल भारद्वाज, अनुभव सिन्हा, हंसल मेहता, एक ऐसा फिल्ममेकर कोएग्जिस्ट कर रहा है जिसकी फिल्में बॉक्स ऑफिस पर धमाल मचाती है. But still there is a section of people जो उनकी फिल्मों को डिसलाइक करता है. And that filmmaker is Rohit Shetty. Hi guys, I am Aamir and welcome to Chalchitra Talks. I have a confession to make. I love Rohit Shetty movies. I would be lying if I said Suryavanshi wasn't my most anticipated movie of 2020, and it still is. I can't express how excited I was for it. I watched the trailer almost 20 times when it came out, rewatched Singham and Simba at least 3 times, and even bought a Aa Rahi Hai Police t-shirt, which now doesn't fit me. But during the depressing environment of the pandemic, like everyone else, I found myself rewatching my comfort movies, and surprisingly, most of them were Rohit Shetty films. And I was entertained. अभी आप कहेंगे ये मिलेनियल है, रोहित शेट्टी की फिल्में देख देख कर बड़ा हुआ है और नॉस्टैल्जिया के चक्कर में ऐसी बातें कर रहा है. For the longest time I thought the same too until I watched Simba, which opened my eyes to the technical finesse in all Rohit Shetty films. And I will tell you exactly why Rohit Shetty is one of the most entertaining filmmakers of Hindi cinema. Hindi film industry has always been a star-driven industry, where audiences always keep the real-life persona of the actor in mind, चाहे वो कोई भी character play कर रहा हो. In the first Golmaal, Rohit Shetty used this to pay homage to the first film he worked on, Fool or Kaate, by recreating the bike split stunt with Ajay Devgan, taking it a notch higher with every subsequent Golmaal film. Of course, after watching the same stunt so many times, it isn't as fresh as the first time, but because the stunt is done in a different way each time, it gives the audience immense joy to see what Rohit Shetty comes up with next. This continued in Singham, where there were several scenes throughout the movie when Ajay Devgan walked in slow motion with as much swag as possible, which then became a staple in his films. But I believe the best entry sequence so far is Ranveer's entry in Simba. It is a beautiful mix of slow-mo shots and amazing background score, saturated colors, and of course Ranveer Singh's persona. With every entry sequence, Rohit Shetty makes sure that the audiences root for the hero. I am extremely excited to see Suryavanshi's entry, which I feel will be the grandest entry sequence of all his films.
हाँ मेरा कोई भाई नहीं है, लेकिन वो तो अब तेरा भी नहीं.
Rohit Shetty knows how to keep the audience engaged with the energy in his scenes, be it with the help of sound effects or background music or even peculiar shot taking. If you remember, he created a sound effect for the punches in his action sequences. It is a very small element. Although not realistic, it is because of that element that we feel we are watching something fresh and new. And there is always this beautiful energy in the shots of his films, especially in Simba. The camera work in this film particularly is smooth yet grand. I just love this small scene where Simba is talking to Durva Ranade for the last time before he goes to jail. Here, Shetty uses the vertigo effect in a very minimalistic manner. You won't even notice it if you don't pay attention. The one thing that Rohit Shetty has improved over time is action. So much so that the other Hindi films had to step up their game to make their action sequences as exciting as Shetty's films. There's always this joke that Shetty is obsessed with cars and physics-defying stunts, but no one actually admires the style and the freshness of these action sequences. I can say without hesitation that Rohit Shetty is one of the very few Hindi filmmakers who can direct a big-budget Hollywood action film and make it to their standards. But what really intrigued me was his process. His team choreographs the action sequences, shoots them with stunt actors, and then edits them with the background music for the scene so that the actors can see how the sequence is going to turn out eventually and then act out the sequence. The police station action sequence in Simba, for instance, was shot in this manner, which is why it almost feels like a dance, with the punches landing rhythmically with the background music of the scene.
अबे जल्दी बोल, कल सुबह पनवेल निकलना.
In every Rohit Shetty movie, besides the main characters, he makes sure to put in at least one supporting character who stays with us long after the movie ends. Be it Meenamma, Vasuli Bhai, Pappi Bhai, Brajesh Hirji's character, Tobu Anna, Tangabali, Jaykant Shikre's sidekick Shiva from Singham, and also the police officers and the nonsense minister. And of course, Sameer. कौन समीर? जिसको बचपन में देखा था, लॉलीपॉप खाता था, छोटी चड्डी पहनता था, बड़ी शरारत करता था. And what makes these characters memorable are the amazingly written dialogues and punchlines by Sajid Farhad. They are so well written that most of them have become part of our pop culture. Rohit Shetty makes sure that you get pumped for the important sequences, and for this he uses amazing background scores. The Golmaal films and Singham definitely use background music to enhance the experience, but it is Simba which completely blew my mind. The theme of the main character plays several times throughout the film, but it is never unnecessary. And the one sequence that made this film's background music mind-blowing was the climax, where Simba teams up with Singham. In this sequence, Shetty mixes the themes of both characters so beautifully, and it really feels like two characters from different universes have finally come together. I just can't wait to see what magic he does with the background music when all the three cops come in one single frame. Rohit Shetty makes movies keeping the family audiences in mind. His films provide clean entertainment, devoid of crass characters, dialogue, songs, and unnecessary item numbers. There are always relatable characters with whom family members can identify and root for and collectively agree with the happenings on screen. In theaters or at home, you can watch Rohit Shetty films laughing, enjoying, and being entertained with your entire family without a single cringy or embarrassing moment. It's very easy to write off or dislike Rohit Shetty films by saying, "Haan, khali gaadi udata hai," but you can't take away the fact that his films are loved by the family audiences. 2017 is the biggest example of this. Many biggies were flopping one after the other, and Rohit Shetty's Golmaal again attracted huge audiences to the theaters, earned huge numbers, and brought back Hindi film industry on its feet. Rohit Shetty is a filmmaker I have admired a lot, and I'm pretty sure you would be lying if you said you were not entertained by at least one of his films. I can't express how excited I am to watch Suryavanshi, and even if it is not a great film, I'm pretty sure it will be a huge entertainer. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and share this video and subscribe to Chalchitra Talks for more content like this. I'll see you next time.